Hello, good morning. Today is Friday. I need to paint a commission that I have. It is about a meadow or a wheat field. I'm not sure yet. Today I'm going to check some colors and start to paint this. On today's illustration, the concept was to create a meadow. On today's illustration, the concept was to create a meadow, a yellow meadow with warm tones, with two kids side view walking through this tall grass on a sunny day. So the idea was to create a wheat field. I actually had room to change the colors later on because something was not working in terms of color.
The initial idea was something like this in yellow, but I actually tried it in green and I think it looks much tidier and the contrast is much better. So what do you think?
I always like to include charming elements, like she's wearing a basket with corn and he's wearing like a branch with his lunch, and then they're walking through the meadow, so it is kind of organic. I like to include a lot of green trees, and I also like to include a lot of clouds, fluffy clouds that I wanted to create. So this is the initial idea, and soon enough I realized that the yellow wasn't working for the contrast. Also, I changed the kids from side view to a front view. I pitched it to my customer and she loved it, so we started to create this sketch. I'm going to try and tell you one tip each time I upload a studio vlog, so you find them also a little bit useful and there is some value in it. And today I'm going to show you what I normally do to choose some colors, because as you see now, the hat of the kid, it's in blue, and I just feel that the blue with the purple doesn't go perfectly well together. And so what I do is this. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't, but I'm just sharing my process. Go to your color icon and then go to harmony here. And once you tap, you can choose under colors, complementary, split, complementary, analogous. I normally choose analogous to choose similar colors. This is the big circle is your main color and those two are something similar. So in case you want to create analogous colors, that works. But in my case now, I feel like this drawing, this purple, I need to complement it with something else, not similar, but that contrasts a little bit. So I'm going to click here. Instead of analogous, I'm going to choose complementary. And you can see that it directly gives me a light green. Now I'm going to go to split complementary and they will give me two colors. So I may add this pink somewhere, I'm not sure. Maybe to the clothes of the girl. Feel the ear. Yeah, I think that's warmer, less cold, because the purple tends to be a little bit cool as a color. And let me show you the difference, this or this. I'm going to tackle the trees in here. I feel like this green is so beautiful. I think I need to save this for other occasions because the combination of these three are spectacular. What I do when I am alone drawing sometimes is to text to my good friend Sarah. She is also an illustrator, children's illustrator, and then we start to share our work. And sometimes she shows me her illustrations that she's going to post, or when we have any doubts, like what do you think about this color? Because sometimes you need fresh eyes to look at your illustration, and when you are for such a long time drawing, sometimes the colors and the shapes are not the same, and that's why you have to step out of your drawing for a little bit. So I'm going to text her and show her my illustration. She is answering. Okay. She doesn't know that I'm filming this. Sometimes when we want to take a break, we start here to chat, and then we get lost into sharing one picture and another. But it's great to have someone to share these things to. So I'm in the last stages of this illustration, and I'm already coloring the clothes and everything that it's more like detailed. Let me show you. Can you see the boy? I'm coloring the boy's hat for now, and I think it's turning pretty nice. You know, it's still interesting stage since there is a stage like you don't like anything because it's only solid colors, but when you start with shadows and highlights and everything comes together, it's like so nice. At least I'm going to keep at it and then step away a little bit because my eyes cannot see anymore. I still need to fix some things because I'm not sure it is all working together, but I'm going to finish on the details. I'm really happy that I picked this turquoise with this pink because I actually think that the hat, the overall, and the dress are very complementary colors and they work so good together. Good morning. Today is Monday. It is the 26th of May. Tomorrow is my birthday. I wanted to show you the commission. So the grass is not finished, and yeah, so I'm going to work on that today. So one thing that I struggle a lot is adding texture. So in this case, I am going to choose this brush, which is really useful. It's called Leatherwood, and it's under Artistic Leatherwood. I don't know if you can see it. And I'm going to add a layer of yellow for you to see. What I'm going to do is to increase my brush size, and I'm going to tilt my pencil and use it as, like a soft brush that I can brush everywhere. To add more here in the horizon because it's where the light is hitting, right? Okay, this is too much. Maybe something like more loose. And once it's done, I'm going to lower the opacity a little, and so you can see the texture. Let me show you with more opacity and less opacity. Can you see it? I am on my last stage of this commission. I've been painting all the grass and the details. So what I'm going to do now is this part where it's very smooth, doesn't have any texture. I'm going to pick this brush, the twig brush. I have it here on my favorite brushes, but it is under organic and twig. So what I did is go to stabilization and add a little bit more of stabilization so it is easier to draw. And now what I'm going to do is to pick this green, and I am going to make the grass as if somebody walked on top of it. So something like open. See? Something like this. So it feels more real and more natural. I have another dilemma, and that is this house initially started as a cottage, and I have now a second house, which is a barn. Let me show you with the overall illustration. It's a little bit more detailed, but I don't know which one I like the most. I think this one is cute because it is like a cottage, and this one it is more detailed. So what do you prefer? Let me know your comments about this. And I'm just going to blur a little bit the plant star in front. I'm going to add a little bit of Gaussian blur here on adjustments, and I'm going just to blur it a tiny bit. I don't want to be really obvious. You can see this is the blurred one and this is the original one. You see there is a little bit of blur. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, and this will be my final illustration. Okay, so we are going to send this to the client and see if they have any reviews they want to change in terms of color, because at this stage I don't give the option to change and rearrange everything. Once we start color, then the revision is all about color. So if the client here needs to add, the green, more dark, or the orange is less vibrant or more vibrant, I give them the option because I don't like to deliver an illustration and say like, hey, it is like this and you cannot change anything. But this is something personal that I like to do with my clients. Let's wait for the response, and if everything is okay and there's no changes, I can print them on my super printer that has like 10 cartridges of color, and it is archival inks, and also the paper is archival, meaning that it will last for a long time. They say like 25 years to 100 years. I like to choose a nice paper with some texture, and that always makes the illustration more grainy and with more texture. I'm kind of picky with the paper. I had several clients who said that they can print them locally, and then they decided to come back and choose the paper I use, which only makes me realize that I chose a great paper. And yeah, so let's see what the client says. It is printing day. I'm going to print this baby on an A3 paper. Okay, so always check your illustration for imperfections before printing, because printing on an A3, it's like a kind of a large canvas, and so you want to see that all the details are in perfect conditions. So I'm going just to check for, like, strokes that didn't go as we expected, or things that you don't realize that you did, but that actually they are there sometimes. So I don't print my logo on top, I just sign it on the back. And yeah, I think this is perfect, good to go. And we are just going to print it.